Start recording. Ooh, let me sit down and get comfortable. It dawned on me that I did not introduce myself the other day. Hi, my name is Ellie, and I'm an artist from Canada, originally from Ecuador, South America. In the last video, I did mention on passing my self-made advent calendar. So I just wanted to go through all those things, and hopefully you have as much fun as I did when I got them. The first thing that I got was this. It's from the dollar store. And it's this little magnet tile. You can divide them and then become these little tiny little squares. And they have a sticky side that you can put on things. And they're really, really handy because, for example, this I got ages ago. It's like a tin metal. And I kept it, and with that I made a little palette. And then this things, you could paste it on the back, and then there you have it. They won't fall. They have served me well. Now the second thing that I got was washi tape, and they're from the dollar store, so I don't know how sturdy they're gonna be, so let's test it out. I don't know if you can see that, but the adhesive, it's a little bit granulated, so you can see the parts where it's not a constant stickiness. It just has a little gaps in between the glue. So I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the greatest for what I had planned. For example, I want to see if it seeps through. And let's give it a try with the glitter ones as well. Oh, it's not even sticking to itself. I don't know how well this is gonna work. I mean, you take chances in life. Sometimes they just don't pan out. The glue on the back seems to be pretty uniform though, so it might work on paper. Maybe it's just not sticking to itself because of the granulation of it. So I want to see how hard it is to take it off. So on this end, I'm just gonna make them really, really stick to the paper, and the other side, I'm just gonna leave it normal. We'll do a test as well. This one's I'm thinking more decorative purposes more than utilitarian purposes, but nevertheless we'll see how that works. Oh, that's a bad sign. It ripped. I mean, I did apply this one with more force than I applied the top one, so for decoration purposes that might be nice, but yeah, no, it destroyed the paper. Then again, this is not the most expensive paper. Oh, that one is actually pretty good. Well, in some parts it's not. Yeah, okay, so the side that I applied the most pressure, it's not liking it, but it's good to know. As long as I don't press it too much, it will work. And it gives some nice crisp edges, so that's nice. Okay, I am happy with this. And each one of these ones was like $3 for like the whole stack of them. So that's pretty darn good. Now the next one was this Ollie markers. These ones I got them from Indigo Chapters. The neat thing about them is that when you use the top layer part, it kind of eats away at the paint underneath it. So I'm not sure what type of sorcery they're using for this. I don't see me using this for an actual piece just because it doesn't layer very well, so it's going to be really hard to have a good base or a good layer. But playing with this will be really, really fun, and just doing some lettering or anything that doesn't require you to pass through the same part over and over again, it might be fun to use these things. It is just so nice. The next thing is a similar idea, but it's the dollar store version of it. And the difference between this ones and this ones is that with this ones, you only get the reaction on the painted part, on the base part. You don't get the reaction in the in-betweens. Yeah, also it will have the same type of reaction on this one. Yeah, it's the same reaction. This one's definitely remind me of Crayola magic markers, and I always wanted them as a kid, but I never got them, so I guess now I'm fulfilling my childhood dreams of owning magic markers. Now the next is two sets that I got them in just one bag. The fun thing about these markers is that they kind of work like the chameleon markers. You put tip to tip. A little bit dry right now. Oh, I wonder if it's because I was storing them like this instead of like that. I'll give you a little bit of time. Let's see, what is this one? I think this one's just a blender. And I wonder if these are, yeah, so they're alcohol based. So the thing about this one is that when you're using them, yes, they're gonna blend beautifully and whatnot. However, they are gonna bleed. All right, now that we're more properly secured, let's try something crazy. Just 5 seconds of that, and let's see how that works. That's kind of nice. Let's try very watermelon color. Now the next thing is this. It's just a silly hole puncher. I didn't have one and I wanted one. It just makes holes. Fun thing about this one is that it's like a little trap hole. And then I got this. And so you can put your pencils in it. It's a pencil holder. This is a problem because sometimes it gets stuck. If you would just want to travel light, you can just put the pencil holder on the notebook and then you're good to go. This was an excellent find. And they were just $2 each. And I was blown away. They're so nice. They're just so beautiful. And I got 2 of the same, so I'm just gonna open one of them because I figure these are gonna be the ones that I use the most. The best thing to do is just to get like a little bottle sprayer and just spray them. And so you spray them and you let the paint saturate the water, and it becomes this really, really creamy paint. It sends shivers down my spine. It's so pretty. Isn't that just beautiful? I think the more you wait for the paints to absorb the water, the better the pigmentation or the coverage of the pigmentation is. That's just one stroke, nothing, no fiddling with it nor nothing. And look at that coverage. That is beautiful. Oh, look at that. It's so pretty. I'm gonna be putting metallic backgrounds on everything. Now this is the little napkin I was using in between, and just look at that. This is when it's dry on like a tan paper. Isn't that gorgeous? I went a little bit crazy with this one's Primary Cyan. It's a Holbein gouache. And then Primary Magenta. And Primary Yellow. Theoretically speaking, I will be able to make a lot of different paints with this because they're primary colors. And there's something to be said about having good art supplies. Yes, you can have a lot of fun and with cheap art supplies, and you don't need expensive art supplies to do good art. Yet having quality paint makes it just a little bit easier, not having to fight with the chalkiness of paint or with flakiness of paint. It's nice when the art supplies help you get a better result. Now, this is not art related in any way. They're just stretchy noodles. I really like making knots on them and then just untangling them. I find that very cathartic. Having said that, they collect dust and hair like no one's business. But they're just so squishable. And I thought that it might be easier to do curves with them because they have a little bit of a stretch, but like if you don't want to stretch them, you don't have to stretch them. If, for example, you were to want to do a curve from here to here, you could very well do that. But I had the idea that I might be able to do... This might be over-engineering something that might be really simple. Maybe I want to do like an increasing line. Let's see, is this my imagination or... See if I can do better with this little thingy. Nope, it's about the same. I don't know. A little bit worse, actually. Me trying to make a noodle into something artsy. In some parts it helps, like doing that big of a wide curve, it kind of helps. But I mean, it's not like you wouldn't be able to do that with your hand. It's about the same. It's just fun to play with. The next day, I got a pack of this. It was 12 of them, and it was $1.50. It's really nice to have little sticky notes because they help with, for example, if you mess up on something, you can just put a sticky note on top and try again. See if you can do it better. Or if you are, for example, plotting and planning a spread, or if you're deciding what the layout of a book is gonna be, and then if you did something here, little stick man, hello, and you decide no, I don't want that there. I want it to be something different. Instead of having to like erase or like put it in a different page and then have to refer to it when you're looking at a glance, you can just stick it to the side. You don't have to put it in the garbage. You just can put it as an alternative option, and then you grab another one, try again. And then if you decided that, no, actually, I like that one, the previous one better, you can just put it back on. And you don't lose the flow of the story, and you can just see it at a glance. And speaking of sticky notes, the next day I got this. Because they're so much fun. Look at them, they're so colorful. Who doesn't love a rainbow? They just make me happy. They have the stickiness in this part over here, so it's like an awkward bit. I wish they put them just on the bottom over there so you can just actually use them for peeking out of different things. And the next day I got these. It's Faber-Castell Beeswax crayons, and I cut them and I just didn't know that I got a little bit too far. I got them with the intention that I can play with my kid with this as well. And I can't remember the last time that I made art with crayons, that I did anything with crayons. They're really pigmented, which is really nice. I bet it would be really fun to paint a surface with this and then carve out a motif or something. So yeah, I bet that would be a fun thing to do. And then I got this. They are markers. They're brush markers. That's how they were advertised. There were two different selections. They're really nice for hand lettering, I guess. When they cross, they blend a little bit, but not too much. They do create that extra opacity of the color. So I guess they're not very, they wouldn't be very nice for painting a surface area. They would be very nice for inking things. And they do have a variety of line differences, or I think they would be really fun. And they are pretty juicy. And I'm wondering, after I use the contents of it, I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want to explode everywhere, but I think that when I finish one of them, I'm going to try to open it up to see if I can refill it, because if I can refill it with ink or something, it will be a pretty nice inking brush. And the next day, I got googly eyes. I've always liked them since I was a kid. I remember getting a birthday card and it had googly eyes and I ripped them off and I used them on different drawings that I did. I think I still have one somewhere. Let me see. I found one from like when I was a cringy preteen. Look at that. Jaja in Spanish would be haha, which is the English H-A-H-A. So Jaja, which means haha. And look at him. Look at him go. He's so cute. I do not know what the purpose of this was, but it's so adorable. So whenever I get a chance, I put googly eyes on anything and everything, as you might be able to tell by the mic. Isn't that cute? And the next one was these. They're just stamps. I didn't have stamps before and now I do. I had a double thought about this because you can actually peel them out. And this is like a foam piece. And somewhere in my office I have a rubber stamp making kit which I wanted to use, so I wanted to cannibalize these things and do my own stamps and just use this for the handle. But I am gonna keep some of them, like this happy face, this darling happy face, and this bee. That's a cute bee. But yeah, stamps. And the next day I got king size Sharpie. I didn't have a king size Sharpie before and now I do. Oh man, I thought it was gonna be chunkier than that. I thought that the nib was gonna be like super big. You have disappointed me. And it smells really strong. It's whatever. It is what it is, I guess. It has variety though, so that's good. It smells really strong though. Next item are these. So they were a pack of 2 each. I think it was this, yeah. It was a pack like this. And they are Sharpies, but they're highlighters. And I thought that was pretty neat. And they're dual highlighters. So they have one chunky nib, chisel nib, and also a finer nib, which is not that fine, and I'm not mad about that. It's very nice for dotting. Highlighter, or you can do dot. I'm gonna leave a little bit of space in between. And they're nice colors. Pleases my eyes to see these colors. I'm gonna compare them with these ones over here that I have, which are the Zebra Midliner highlighters. I use them all the time. So they also have the chisel nib and pointier. They're pretty similar. That's nice. I mean, they're comparable. Very darn close. I like that. I'm very happy with this. The next one is this little pot of gold. Is Montmartre. Anything that's Montmartre, I get them from HomeSense. I really like their art supplies section. Sometimes they carry things that are unusual and fun, like this paint. Oh, what? So I thought that was the paint that you're seeing through the little bottle, but apparently it was not. The bottle, it's gold, but the gold inside of it is a different shade of gold. I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about this. Ooh, pretty. Okay, I'm not that mad anymore. Now the thing about this one is that I'm seeing that it is pretty opaque, but the, I don't know, the mica powder that they use or whatever the glitter they use inside of it, it's a silver glitter instead of a gold glitter, so it's giving it more of a silvery metallic look to it rather than gold. You have disappointed me. The next day, I got this. They're also Montmartre, so I got them at HomeSense. They are sculpting tools. They have different edges to them, so you can make different textures on your canvas. You just need to put a thick enough paste that you'll leave the indentations from it. And I wanted to dive more into creating more abstract backgrounds for art, and I think this will be really fun to play with. And the next thing I got are this. They are usually for closing bags of chips. They have magnetic thing on the back so that you can put them up against metal surfaces like the fridge, but I like them because I can put them on this table. The bottom part, the frame of the table is metallic, so I can just put those there and then they won't go anywhere. I use them to flatten sketchbooks. But what I like about these ones is that they are plastic, and so they won't actually make indentations like some of these ones. When I use these ones, sometimes they're a little bit too strong. And they mark the page. I don't know if you can see, there's already a mark from the metallic lip of the thingy. And on the back also, if you have this type of notebook that have like a faux leather, they're very susceptible to scratches. Big enough that they can get like a whole bunch of paper, and they're soft enough that they don't damage the page. And for the final day, it was a whole bunch of supplies in one big bag. First, I got gloss clay varnish, and therefore clay. I had the hopes and dreams of doing these little bowls to hold the yarn, and so I designed different critters. So I came across in Pinterest, it was a little sheep like this, and it's a bowl, and you put your yarn in it, but they have a little hole in the front. And so you feed the yarn through that, and then that prevents the yarn from rolling around everywhere. And I thought it was the cutest thing and the greatest idea, and I wanted to make a whole bunch of them, because at that point in time, I was absolutely sure I was gonna start crocheting. So I got into crocheting and I made one thing. His name is Steve, and I love him. This is my son, Steve. He has a wonky pattern, but I really liked it, and I was sure that I was going to take on crocheting for ages, and then life got busy, so I didn't. The varnish itself was not for this specific project, but was because around that same time I stumbled across some pins on Pinterest where people do their own palettes, so I gave them a try and they ended up super wonky. But I want to try it again, and for this to be able to be used for paint, I need to give it a finish. That's my wonky palette. I mean, it has character. And then I got this, which is a pack of two. One I'm using it for my morning pages. This one I'm just gonna keep here because I have the feeling that I'm gonna run out of morning pages before the time is up. But I wanna leave it unused and untouched just in case I need a continuation to the other one. And then I got this, which is a little stand. But it's really nice to have it for when I'm working on a small canvas on my desk as opposed to my big easel over there. Yeah. Just nice. And then I got this, all the fun goops. It's a light molding paste. You can either mix it with acrylic paint to make a more pastel version of the paint, but when you lay it down, you're supposed to lay it down with this type of tool, and so that way you can make different 3D effects with it. Or you can just glop it on top and then paint on top of it. I think it would be a really fun thing to play around with now that I have this things. You can like put a glop of this and then just make fun shapes or fun textures on the background. And then impasto, which will be mixed with acrylic paints to create impasto techniques. And then this crackle paste, it kind of makes it look like the desert when there's like no water whatsoever, and the top soil layer, it breaks apart, it crumbles a little bit, but it's still pretty flat. You just see the grooves. It does that to a canvas. So you put a thin layer of this and you let it dry, and then it becomes this like crackly thing that you can paint on top, and it just gives it like a very unique texture to play with. I've been really wanting to play more around with 3D options for paintings. This is my first experiment with this type of materials. This is one of the work in progresses that I have. I need to do something about the eye because freaking me out, it's too bumpy. So I use a drywall paste that you use to fix walls. You sculpt the thing on top and then you paint on top of it, and it's just so fun to touch. It's touchable art, and I like that about this. And that's it. That's all she wrote. That's all I got for my advent calendar. I had tons of fun doing this. I highly recommend anybody that wants to do something like this in the future to do it. If you get 2 art supplies per month and an extra one in December, you'll have a very good advent calendar. And if you want to see any of them in use, let me know. Thank you so much for hanging out. See you next time.